Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into Psalm 69. It's often called a cry of distress, and it really is. It's King David, just raw and unfiltered, crying out from this place of deep suffering. But there's more to it. It's also seen as prophetic, kind of foreshadowing Christ's own experiences. So our mission today is to dig into this ancient text, pull out some real wisdom, and see how these timeless truths can actually, strengthen our own trust and relationship with God. We'll touch on crying out when you feel like you're drowning, facing false accusations, the real cost of being passionate about God, pleading for rescue, and then finally landing on confidence in God through praise. Okay, so let's dive in. David opens with these words, "Save me, O God, for the waters are come in unto my soul." Wow. He says, "I sink in deep mire. I am come into deep waters where the floods overflow me." I mean, that imagery is just, it's so visceral, isn't it? You can almost feel the water rising.
Oh, absolutely. It's that feeling of being completely overwhelmed, of having no ground to stand on. You're not just near the water, you're in it. Sinking. The floods are overflowing. It's active drowning, really.
Yeah, active drowning. That's a good way to put it. It feels suffocating. And he doesn't just stick to metaphors. Of verse 3, he talks about his throat being dry from crying, his eyes failing while waiting for God. It's like a total system breakdown.
It really is. And, David doesn't sugarcoat any of it. His pain is complex. There's the physical exhaustion you mentioned, but also this intense emotional stuff, being hated for no reason, attacked unfairly.
And the numbers are against him too, right? More than the hairs of my head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the isolation. Rejected by his own family, verse 8, I am become a stranger unto my brethren. That cuts deep.
Yeah, when your own family turns away.
That is
brutal.
It's devastating.
Yeah.
And then there's the public shame. He talks about being the song of the drunkards, but also the talk of those who sit in the gate.
Ah, right. The city elders, the important people. So not just random gossip.
Precisely. It's public humiliation by the respected figures in society. And I think this is where we see some ancient wisdom pop up. Being honest in suffering isn't weakness. It's actually faithfulness. David just throws it all out there, unfiltered, to God. Lament as devotion.
That's powerful. So we see his pain, the isolation, the shame. But then verse 9 hits, and it's almost a curveball. "For the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach thee are fallen upon me." So his suffering isn't just personal failure or random attacks. It's somehow linked to his passion for God. How does that work?
Well, that zeal is key. It means this consuming passion, like an internal fire for God's honor, for God's house. He takes insults against God personally. They fall on him. And this kind of fierce dedication, well, it can attract ridicule. It can make you a target.
Because it challenges the status quo, maybe?
Exactly. It's countercultural.
Yeah.
And of course, this line has huge echoes later on.
Right, in the New Testament.
Yeah, John's gospel quotes this very verse, John 2.17, when Jesus cleanses the temple. His disciples remembered this verse. His zeal for God's house literally consumed him, leading to that confrontational act. So it shows this pattern. Deep faithfulness can lead to opposition. True for David, true for Jesus.
And maybe true for us sometimes, too.
It can be. Standing for what's right according to God's ways isn't always popular. It might lead to misunderstanding or pushback.
Okay, so understanding that potential cost is important, and maybe that fuels the next part, his really intense pleas for rescue.
I think so. Because knowing you're suffering, partly because of your faithfulness, adds another layer. So in verses 13 to 18, he's desperately crying out, "Deliver me, let me not sink, draw nigh into my soul and redeem it."
But then it shifts again, doesn't it? Verses 22 to 28 get, well, pretty harsh. Yes, for judgment on his enemies. Let their table become a snare. Let their habitation be desolate. How do we sit with that kind of prayer?
It's definitely uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly honest, isn't it? Dave is human. He's been deeply wronged, and this is his raw human cry for justice, maybe even for retribution. The psalm doesn't necessarily say we should pray this way, but it shows David bringing everything, even the vengeful feelings, to God. He's not taking matters into his own hands. He's laying it before the judge.
Right. He entrusts the justice part to God, even while expressing the raw emotion. Okay. So he goes from despair through zeal through this cry for justice to the end of the psalm. And the ending is kind of amazing. He shifts to praise.
It's a remarkable turn, isn't it? Despite everything, while still, presumably in the midst of the trouble, he says, "I will praise the name of God with the song, magnify him with thanksgiving." This isn't him saying, "Oh, everything's fine now." It's an act of profound faith in the suffering.
Choosing to praise even when the circumstances haven't necessarily changed yet.
Exactly. He holds on to the belief that God hears the humble, that God will restore. And this points to this idea that suffering can be redemptive. It's not meaningless. It can have purpose, refining us, deepening our trust, maybe connecting us more closely to God, just like Christ's suffering had ultimate redemptive purpose.
Okay, let's really unpack this then. We've walked through David's journey in the psalm. What does this all mean for us today, trying to navigate our own struggles? How can this ancient cry strengthen our trust?
Great question. I think the first big takeaway is permission. You can be real with God even when you're drowning. David's raw honesty is liberating. It tells us it's okay to bring the messy stuff, the anger, the fear, the confusion, straight to God. No filters needed.
So, ditch the pretense in prayer.
Absolutely. God already knows what's in your heart anyway. Start there. Just say, God, this is where I really am. Maybe you're frustrated at work or struggling with a relationship. Tell him the unvarnished truth. That authenticity actually builds trust.
Okay, authenticity first. What's next?
Second, faithfulness doesn't guarantee popularity. This is a tough one. David was mocked. Jesus was rejected. Following God closely, doing what's right, might not win you friends. It might even lead to isolation or criticism.
That's hard in a world that values likes and approval.
It is. But if you're feeling that isolation because you stood for something right, remember David. Remember Jesus. You're in good company. Rooting yourself in God's approval rather than chasing human approval builds a really deep, resilient trust in him.
So, expect potential friction, but stay rooted. Got it. Number 3.
Third, let your pain deepen your compassion, not your bitterness. David's journey models this. He moves through the hurt towards humility and eventually praise. It's a choice we can make too.
Choosing compassion over bitterness. How do we do that when the pain feels overwhelming?
It often starts with asking different questions. Not just why me, but maybe what can I learn here? Or who else might be feeling this way? Or how can this experience help me understand and support someone else? Don't waste the pain. Let it cultivate empathy. This shifts your relationship with God from just asking for help to actually partnering with him to bring healing, using your experience for good.
Turning pain into empathy. That's a powerful reframe. What else does Psalm 69 teach us?
Fourth, God sees the unseen. Verse 33 is key. The Lord heareth the poor and despiseth not his prisoners. Even when society ignores people, when suffering goes unnoticed, God sees. He hears.
That's comforting, but maybe also challenging.
Both. It challenges us to look for and support the overlooked around us. But it's also deeply comforting when you feel invisible, when your own struggles seem unseen. Trust that God hears your cry. He knows your pain intimately.
He sees. Okay, and the last one.
Fifth, worship is an act of faith when you're hurting. David praises God while he's still in the deep mire, remember. He doesn't wait for the rescue to happen first. Worship in the middle of sorrow is this courageous act of faith.
So it's not about pretending the pain isn't there?
Not at all.
Okay.
It's about reframing the pain within the bigger reality of who God is. It's an act of trust, a declaration that God is still good, still sovereign, even when things feel awful. So try it. Put on worship music. Journal a prayer. Just sit in quiet adoration, even when it feels hard. Praise doesn't deny the pain. It declares faith over it.
Wow. Okay, so to recap this deep dive, Psalm 69 basically gives us permission to feel everything, cry out honestly, but also to hold on to hope fiercely for God's deliverance.
Yeah, exactly. The big takeaways. Suffering doesn't mean God's gone. Faithfulness might cost you. Weeping and worshiping can happen at the same time. God hears you, even if no one else does. And redemption, purpose, can actually grow out of pain. Like verse 32 says, the humble shall see this and be glad. And your heart shall live that seek God.
Your heart shall live that seek God. That's beautiful. So as you reflect on this deep dive on David's honesty and ultimate hope in Psalm 69, here's the final thought. How will you apply this information in your life this week to deepen your own trust and relationship with God?